All right, so today we're going to be writing an equation from a graph, and we're going to be graphing a linear equation. If I could actually get one person from each table to get a reference material for everybody in your team. All right, so today we have a vocabulary word, y-intercept. Okay, so we are going to be identifying the y-intercept from the graph. The y-intercept is the initial value where x equals 0. So when x equals 0, whatever your y value is, that is your y-intercept. Another word for the y-intercept, instead of the initial value, it's also the beginning. Did I spell that correctly? Okay, the y-intercept is represented by the letter B. So to help you remember that it's the initial value, it's the beginning value, okay? Slope-intercept form, so let's refer to your reference material. The very top line says linear equations, and it's the very first one, slope-intercept form. What is that equation?
Y
Good.
equals mx plus b.
Good. And what does the m represent?
Slope.
Good. We've already learned how to find slope. And b represents?
The y-intercept.
You got it, y-intercept. And I'm going to shorten it like that. Okay. So we're going to be we're going to be given a graph, and we're going to write an equation in slope-intercept form. So it's going to look like y equals mx plus b. And the other two letters in there, the x and the y, where does that come from? Any ideas? Any thoughts?
Like the x and y coordinates.
Absolutely, the x and y coordinates, ordered pairs. So your x is your input, right? So if we input our x value, look what our output is our y value, and that's your ordered pair. Okay? All right. So we'll start with this first one, number 7. We're going to find the slope, the y-intercept, and then we're going to be able to write the equation. So we always begin with our y-intercept. I like starting there. Okay? So if, again, where x equals 0, your y-intercept, that's your y value. So it's where the line crosses the y-axis. Where's the line cross the y-axis? On the, what number is that?
3.
That's it. That's your y-intercept. And that is a positive 3, right? Are we good with that? Okay. We've also learned how to find slope from a graph, right? We've learned what methods? Good. Rise over run, or the formula, like you said, slope of a line, right? So if we can just begin right here, right? So we can use that point on our graph, right? And then we can choose that point. So we're going to rise, how many? 1, and run. 2. So your slope is 1/2. All right, now we know our slope and our y-intercept, so now we can substitute our numbers in slope-intercept form. So y equals what? X, good. Plus 3, because that's a positive 3. Here we go with that? All right, let's look at number 9. Okay, what is our y-intercept? Where does the line cross the y-axis? If you just highlight right down here, or just go all the way down and you stop, what is that?
-6.
Good, that is -6. That point is what? 0, -6. Notice it says where x equals 0, and your x value is 0. And that is your y value. So your y-intercept is -6, okay? And then we can begin at our y-intercept, right? And we can find the slope of the line. So we can use that point, and and that one right there. And we're gonna rise, how many units?
1.
That is 2 units, right? You'll see that? From 6 to -4. So
Oh.
we're gonna rise 2 units, good. And we're gonna run 3. Rise, overrun. Are we good with that?
Is it location? No.
Okay, we went up, so it's a positive direction, we're going to the right is a positive direction. All right, so let's write our equation. Y equals what?
2/3.
2/3 x.
Plus -6.
You can put plus a -6. More than likely, you're gonna see just subtract 6. Are we good with that?
Yeah.
Either way is fine. Okay? If you want to put plus a -6, that's fine. Or if you want to just put subtract 6, that's also fine. They're the same thing. All right? Let's look at number 11. What is our y-intercept? Yeah, right here. And that's just showing we're finding the y-intercept on the graph, right? And so it is a positive 7. And then what kind of line is this? What kind of slope is that?
0.
Good, because we cannot rise, but we can run any infinite number, right? Infinite. Can be any number, right? Okay, and then when you divide, you do get 0. So what is that gonna look like? Any ideas? We know our B, our y-intercept is what?
7.
Yeah, we know it's 7. Okay, so let's just make a table really quick. So this point is 0, 7, right? What's the next point?
0.
1, 7, 2, 7, 3, 7. So y always equals, yeah, because there is no slope, right? Are we good with that? Remember, if we substitute in our x value, right, times our slope, but there is no slope. Our slope is what? 0, right? If our slope is 0, any number times 0 is 0. So then you're just left with your y-intercept, right? Agree with that? So that's your equation, y equals 7. Okay? With your table, I would like for you to try 8, 10, and 12, the evens. All right, number 8. What is your y-intercept? 9. You got it. Right here, that's our point, right? That represents our B, which is our y-intercept. And we can start at that point. And it looks like we're going down. How many units?
6.
Good. And we run 1. So our slope is good. And then your equation is? Questions? Clarify anything. All right, number 10. Our y-intercept is?
0.
0. Good. Our slope? 4. So we rose 2, 4, 6, 8. And run 2. Good. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And your equation is?
Y equals 4x plus 0.
And you can just leave it like that. Okay. Plus 0 is not needed. We're good? And that's fine. Just like that, okay? And you'll see it like that. All right. Let's see how you did on number 12. All right. What is our slope? It is undefined. Good. What is our y-intercept? Does it cross the y-axis?
No.
No. Can we put 0? No, good. So if it's 0, it would look like that, right? A line. Okay. So we're just going to put none. Now the equation part. Let's just make a table of our x and y values, and we have what? 0, is that 0, -6? Would you agree? I'm sorry, I wrote that backwards. Sorry, I don't agree. -6, 0, right?
Yeah.
What's this point? What is this point? Okay, what is this point? Okay, do you see anything similar from this table to this table?
Yes.
We had y equals 7 over here, right? This was our equation. Any ideas what our equation could be over there? What do we see with our y value here? Always 7, so y equals 7. What about over here? Does y equal -6?
No. X equals
You got it, x equals -6. So vertical lines have an x equals, because your x value is always going to be the same, right? Horizontal lines will always be a y equals. Are you with that? Okay. Turn it over to the back. We're going to start graphing an equation. This is so cool. All right, for number 4, we have y equals -5x plus 7. What is the slope in the equation? You got it. -5. Okay, and for slope, a whole number always has what underneath? 1. You got it. So let's just do that. Because when we graph, we're going to be using the slope. Okay, we're going to need to know what our rise and our run is. You see that? Okay, what is our y-intercept? 7. You got it. Now we're just going to do a quick sketch. Okay. Remember, we always begin with our y-intercept. So where would our y-intercept be about? If it's positive, it's usually what? Above, right, the x-axis. And what does our slope tell us about the line? It's going to be going down. So we could just do a quick little sketch, maybe something like this. Would you agree? Do you see this to be about a y-intercept of 7? It's a positive 7? And our line is going down. Just something quick like that. Okay, so for number 5 and 6, I want you to do the same thing. What is the slope? What is your y-intercept? And do a quick sketch. Okay, and for your slope, I want to see rise over run. Okay, are we good with that? All right, go for it. For number 5, do we have a y-intercept? No, it is 0. Okay. What is our slope? 3, and it's a whole number, so for rise over run, let's do that, right? So if our y-intercept is 0, it goes through what? 0, 0, the origin, and our slope, our line should look like what? It should be going up. So just, it doesn't want to go through the origin. Something, quick sketch like that. So just by looking at the equation, you already have an idea of what that line looks like, okay? Number 6, what is our y-intercept?
-5.
Good, -5. So we already have an idea that it is below the x-axis, right? On your y-axis. And our slope.
Is 0.
Not heard the correct answer. X.
It's a horizontal line.
No. Horizontal lines are y equals.
It is y equals. It's a
Right, but it's x minus 5. Y equals a number. Y'all, how many x's are there? 1, exactly. There's an imaginary 1. Remember back when we solved equations? That's the whole number 1. Since it's a whole number, we're going to put a 1 underneath. our sketch, we know -5 is about maybe here. And then what do we know about our slope? Is it positive or negative? It's positive, so our line is going up. Good. So something like that. All right, let's go ahead and start with number 4, and let's graph. Okay, our y-intercept is represented by the letter B. We always want to begin by graphing our y-intercept first. Okay, so we're going to begin with our slope, our y-intercept, and that is at 7. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and plot your point. At 0, 7. So we're gonna, our slope is our M. Now we're gonna move using our slope, using rise over run. So we begin with our y-intercept. Now we're gonna move down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna run 1. And when we graph a line, you need to graph more than 2 points. Okay, that lets you know that you're graphing a straight line. Any 2 points is a straight line. Okay, so let's start again. We're going to move down 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and run 1. So now that we have 3 points, go ahead and draw a straight line as possible. Okay, and your arrow, notice that my arrow goes off the graph. Let's see here. And we're going to label this line as, what number is this, number 4? I know that's number 4, and what's our equation? Y equals, and we can label it 2. 4, which is y equals -5x plus 7. So that line represents y equals -5x plus 7. Questions? We could probably go again, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. It should actually be right there. All right, let's look at number 5. Switch colors here. All right, what do we begin with? Our y-intercept. What is our y-intercept? 0. All right, that's your first point right here. And we move with our slope, which is up 3, run 3. So move up 1, 2, 3, run 1. Move up 1, 2, 3, run 1. So we have our 3 points. I also want to show you one more thing. It should be a straight line. We don't have vertical. These are linear. Linear means straight. Okay? I want you to look at 3 over 1. It's positive, right? 3 divided by 1 gives you a positive. What if I did this? Are they equivalent?
Yes.
Okay, so that means down 3, back 1, right? Let's try that. So let's begin with our y-intercept. And we're going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, back 1. Y'all see that? Notice that it's still staying in line, right? Down 3, 1, 2, 3, back 1. We can just kind of keep doing that, right? Down 1, 2, 3. Isn't that neat? Okay, let's go ahead and draw a straight line as possible. And your arrow needs to be off the graph. Go ahead and label it as number 5. Your slope-intercept form project next Thursday and Friday, you're going to be graphing lines, okay? This is our practice. Make sure you have arrows, because these lines go on forever. And this is number 5. And our equation is y equals 3x. Pretty good? All right, let's look at number 6. Okay, we begin with what? The y-intercept is at, good. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we move with our slope. Okay, what does that mean? Our slope. What's that? What's our slope mean? How are we going to move? We have 1 over 1. What does that mean? We're going to rise 1, run 1. Okay? So we're going to rise 1, 1, run. Rise 1, run 1. Right? Are we good? Do you remember how to go backwards? Inverse, right? Number 5, we did the inverse. Right? What's the inverse of 1? What do we do? What's the opposite? The equivalent. Good. -1 divided by 1 is still a positive 1, right? Let's go back to our y-intercept of -5. We're going to go down 1, back 1. Down 1, back 1. Okay? Draw a straight line as possible. This is number 6. Number 6, and our equation was y equals x minus 5. Not bad, right? We're good? Okay, we didn't do that for number 4. We didn't really go backwards, okay? But we could do what? What's the opposite of -5? What's the opposite of 1? Yeah, we could have done that. We could have rise 1, went back 1, right? That still gives us a -5, right? Okay? I just don't think we had enough room on our graph. So if we rise 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we go back 1. You can see my line was not that right. You see that? Isn't that neat? So it should be moved a little bit, right? All right, so anyway, let's go ahead and have you practice graphing. So if you could turn to the next page, and with your table, I want you to try the odds, 1, 3, 5, and 7. Begin with your, identify your y-intercept, begin, identify your slope, and move with your slope, okay? All right, and then we're going to begin with our y-intercept of +3, and then move up 1 over 1, 2, 3, up 1 over 1, 2. So that means we have to go backwards, because you have to have how many points you need to have? You have to have 3. Are we good? So, how can we fix that? -1, -3. So if we begin with our y-intercept, we can go down 1, back 1, 2, 3. We have our 3 points. Draw your line with arrows. Questions? Clarify anything. We're good with that? Okay. Number 3. Our slope, -5, 1. And you're more than welcome to put 5, either one. Okay. They both mean -5, right? Our y-intercept is -3, so we're going to begin with -3. And can we go down 5? No. So we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back 1, right? Just by looking at our slope, our line should be what? Going down. And we don't have enough to do 3. So for this one will be an exception. that those should be the only 2 points that you graphed. So a good check is my slope is negative, my line is going down. And my y-intercept is graphed at -3. Questions? Clarifying anything on number 3? All right, number 5. I see a -1. So you can have that or that. Are we good? Both are amazing and correct. Our y-intercept is a +2. Let's go ahead and graph our y-intercept. We're going to move up 1, back 1, using this one, right? We can also use this first one and go down 1, run 1. There are your 3 points. So I did both, okay? We have our 3 points. Draw a straight line as possible. And you have arrows, right, on both ends. Questions? How are we doing? Are you ready for your project?
Yeah.
You got a question?
No.
Okay. Number 7. Our slope is -2/5 or 2. You can place your negative at the bottom if they're both still -2/5. And our y-intercept is -2. We're going to plot -2. And let's use that one. Let's go up 2, back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Because our slope is what? Negative. So it looks like we already got a line going down. Let's try this one. Let's go down 2 and run 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, those are that fits wonderful. Draw your line with arrows. Notice that my lines extend all the way to the ends of the graph. Questions? All right, so your homework is to just finish the other 4. And this next part looks like there's a lot, but you're just matching the equation to the graph. Not all the equations will be used. All right, enjoy your wonderful weekend.